Hi and welcome back to animating a drum using MIDI. And what we're going to look at next is we're going to put some movement into the snare drum itself and the tom-tom, high, medium and these floors. Now in the MIDI file I've got a high, a medium and another medium, but we'll use this floor tom for that. So the first thing I've done is to load up the same pattern that I've used for the stick, but into the drum itself. So that's there. So I've chose the 14-inch snare and the drum there. We've gone to run and we've chosen again channel 10 and we've looked at the ranges and we've actually now put in the snare drum too, but into the snare drum, not the stick. And the values I've used there are X rotate there, and I've used 1.5, but you could probably use about just over 1 or slightly under because we only want to move that. And you just to say add the item in and press the assignments button. Now the result of doing that is that you can see that the snare drum now moves a very small amount as it goes in and out there. Okay, so let's just put a bit of movement into the drum. As this is struck, then this is obviously moving. I've done the same thing with the tom-tom high and the medium, and so now that's starting to move a little bit, and as you can see all three are moving just a little bit. So as I say, at 1.5 you could probably put that a little bit less. Now this floor tom was acting slightly differently, and I'll show you that just in case you come across it. So instead of trying to add the drum, if I look in the drum and then do run and then choose this, again we put the mid tom in, but look, there is no other way to do anything except Y translate. So it's a bit odd and peculiar to this particular drum. What you can do is use the 16-inch floor and run, and this time we do exactly the same. Put in the same pattern, and obviously this time this needs to be very low, so where you've got Y rotate or X rotate, in this case X rotate we're going to put in, this only needs to be about 0.2. But the result of applying it there, you then get this slight movement on there. Even that's probably a bit too much. You might need just a little bit less than that. The main problem there is by using this, you can get some unexpected results. Sometimes this disappears off the screen. So that's a bit of an unusual case with this floor tom. Anyway, so we've now got those all moving. Okay, so that's the 12-inch, the 14-inch and the 16-inch floor there. Now I did do some other minor changes to tidy up the bass line a little bit, make it a bit more readable, and obviously the tidier it is the better. So this is the bass drum. So I've now changed the pattern in there. I've got about 4 patterns in the MIDI file which can be applied. I'm now using the drum 33. So that one is slightly. Okay, so you can see the double control there onto the actual bass drum. So that's the first change I made. And the other thing which I'd like to show you is I've tidied up the actual sticks themselves. As I said before, you can actually apply directly to the stick if you so wished, but you do run the risk of getting it too close. As long as it falls in these gaps, you'll be fine. But if you accidentally get it wrong, then you could be in problems. So a neater way of doing that is to actually apply it, as I pointed out, using the drumstick directly up here for the movement of the stick to the different locations where you want it to. So here I've applied all those movements to this now, drumstick right, and I've taken them out of this one here. So the stick has got the actual pattern in it, and the location of where the stick is in the drumstick right part of it. And you can copy and paste those anywhere you like. And what I did a little bit extra there, I've allowed the stick to reset back into various places. So if we go back here, we've got the stick now moved, and it's actually moved back. So as this comes through, the stick's gone from the top and reset itself back to where the player would normally be. So you can now see, and rather than keeping the stick up in the air all the time, it's dropping back to the snare drum position. And don't forget, you can, instead of this very direct one to the other, you can start to put a transform between the two to make it slightly smoother. But that's something I'll leave you to play with. For now, the drum is actually so fast, it does need to move quite fast between the two locations. So, as I say, you can either take the direct approach with the actual constant in there, or you can put in a transform to take it from one to the other. Okay, that completes this video. Good luck with your animation, and thank you very much for listening.